Well, welcome to all of you to our very important event, to this Alumni Spotlight. Today we have with us a very special guest, Guadalupe Rubio, who is a former student of our institution, SDGKU. And we will be delighted to have this conversation for the next 60 minutes or so to learn more about the valuable insights that Guadalupe got throughout this throughout the Master of Science in International Management program that he took at SDGKU. And if anyone has questions, we ask you to please type them in the chat box, and we'll refer to them later on for Guadalupe to answer them. And I'm sure that this is going to be a really enriching experience for each participant in this session. So to get started, welcome again, Guadalupe. Your academic curriculum includes having finished 2 masters before enrolling in our Master of Science in International Management program here at SDGKU. And we would like to know, what were your expectations and were they met now that you completed the program, and how?
Okay. Before I answer the question, I just first of all I want to let you know it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very delighted and honored to be a role model for other students and be a testimonial for San Diego Global Knowledge University. It's very it's big being in that position. And thank you, Dr. Cardenas, and everyone. I want to tell you a little bit about my background. I'm retired from the Navy. I was in the Navy for 20 years. I started my school late when I was like about over 40, close to retirement. I completed my associate degree in liberal arts, and to me it was a bucket. What is it? A dream, a bucket wish to do that, to finish a degree. So that's big. And I got hooked on education. Then I went to get my bachelor's, and then I got my master's in accountancy through National University. And I got my MBA in National University. And recently I finished my international management program. And to answer your question, what were my expectations before I completed this master's in science in international management? Well, I have a business, and I wasn't sure. Well, I have two master's degree. I don't need another one, but let me just take some classes for personal growth and professional growth. And if I don't I just drop, No, but before that, I look at multiple universities, and it was the best option because it's global knowledge, and I would want to do global business, international business, which seems interesting. So I just said, well, let me take it. If I don't like it, I just gonna drop. But I like every class, but it make it more interesting that I was able to implement what I was learning into my business, and having other master's degree, I was more wise, more intuitive what I was doing. I see, I had a better vision. I was more mature, so it helped me a lot. Yes.
So from what I hear you say, this is an example of how professional growth needs to come with personal growth. We
Yes,
cannot
yes,
do more in our business if we are not like ready or prepared enough, right?
yes, correct.
And would you like to share like one example of, because you mentioned like being part of this program, being part of the Master of Science in International Management made you wiser and more mature. But can you give us an example of these?
Well, I took my accountancy degree, master's degree, and MBA, and I did it because I needed a resume, another bullet to get a new job, and I didn't, I forget about it. I didn't build on it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I took this course, I was more mature. It kind of helped me uh, see more clearly, um, and he talked about current times, about technology, and about global business, and it was, um, and then what I did, I got to write about it. So I write about it in my papers, and I'm saving those notes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Sometimes I go back to read a book related to, let's say, to organizational intelligence, and I add to that paragraph something that I took from that book. Um, so I have a better direction where I want to go, more mature, more wise.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. And well, also like in many ways, you were a unique student at SDGKU, given that in addition to your now impressive academic training, you are also a successful businessman. So could you tell us about your current business and how this Master of Science in International Management program helped you to enhance your enterprise and your global vision as a businessman?
So I have three businesses. Which one my wife, she does a hair replacement. It's called Main Solutions,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much she runs her own business because we don't want to interfere because she's my wife, and but at points she gets stuck with some financial or business decision, and then that's when I say, Lupe, come over, can you help me? And I get involved. If I'm not requested, I'm not get involved, but
Uh-huh.
I make sure that she don't file her face. And but my other business is called Liberty Tax. I do taxes every year. I started the business back 12 years ago. Um, when I started, it was tough. I did not have a vision. They was ask me, what are you gonna do in 2 years? What are you gonna do in 5 years? I didn't know. I didn't have a vision. I didn't have that ability to let's see what happened. That's was my mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've been in that business for 12 years already, till now, and there's a lot of ups and downs, and dealing with people, dealing with new technology, dealing with changes. Um, is tough. But coming to San Diego Global Knowledge, the international management, it helped me a lot because, like I said, um, technology changes so fast, globalization changes so fast, and I'm able to maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I would get stressed like, oh, I'm gonna close this business. Um, but I learned to cope with changes. Um, he gave me tools, methodologies to deal with the people, like, for example, organizational intelligence, share your knowledge among each other, uh, get everybody ideas together, and there's more. I'm a better decision maker now. I'm able to manage people, lead my people through where we're going. And like I said, everything I'm practicing, everything that I write, I go back at times, like, okay, how do I do with this situation? I go back to my notes. Okay, this is how I can deal with it.
Okay, thank you.
In your construction unit, Lupe?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I have another one. Construction, Rubio's construction, and that's something that I'm starting to grow. And I'm not an expert at construction, but I have that license, that gives me the ability to build on it. And going back to Liberty Tax, things have changed. I remember back in the days. I'm sorry. Let me go back to the Liberty Tax. Back when I started, we used to have 36 Liberty Tax in San Diego, and people used to come, and it was a lot of business. Right now, we have 6 Liberty Taxes in San Diego, and I own 2 of them. Why? Because that due to changes. Because technology, people change a way of consuming. So me being able to use tools that I learned in school, it helps me to cope in that situation. I know sooner or later, taxes is gonna go away. It's gonna be different ways. People in China, they're gonna be able to provide services for a lower price, or so I have to move to the next, which is I have my construction business, and I did write about my construction throughout my stay in San Diego, Global Knowledge University. So that helps me keep in focus. We learn about the mission, about the vision, how to look at the dreams, how to do strategic planning. So it's a lot of tools that I was able to not just like, oh, it's a wall. What do I do next? So we have to change with times and how people make business and technology. So I'm able to go better with that.
So it's like you said, you learned, or with the tools that you got, now you're better able to deal with change and changes like in technology.
Yes.
And it also seems to be like being more able to cope, and it like knowing that you have these tools, being able to be more resilient and more adaptable to situations, right?
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And sorry?
Being resilient and tenacity, those 2 words I learned through every school I will go to. And that's also another thing that I bring to it, resilient and tenacity, having grit.
Oh, yeah.
But you have tools to get to where you want. And yeah. So I'm more prepared now.
And that for sure builds confidence on the
Yes,
future.
yes,
That there will be a way to adapt.
yeah.
A
Yeah,
way
right now,
to keep
like right
building.
now, for example, but right now I'm kind of like stressing, like, oh man, like even though we have less customers, the numbers went down compared to last year.
Mhm.
And like, oh man, how am I gonna do to pay the rent or that? But then you just gonna reflect and look at your different options, and maybe leverage gonna go out soon, but have to be ready for the next thing uh, before I just lose a lot of sleep over it. And now I'm able to manage my stress. I have better manager, better leader, better uh, focus on where I'm going.
Clarity makes a difference. So you've been mentioning some of the things that you've learned that you learned during your stay at SDKU, and I'd like to ask you if you could share with us what were the two curricular areas or topics that you found the most exciting during the program, and give us more examples of how you have been implementing them in your everyday life.
Yeah, I think most of the tools and methodologies they were great. So what I used to do every day, every time I learn about something, let's say the 24-hour society, I will go to my. I don't like to call them employees. I call them team members because they're my family. You know, they're my. So I share about that, like this is how we do business. People in Nicaragua have friends. They want to do their tax returns. They just send it any times over the day during the COVID. Um, so and next time they would talk about mental health, and I could somebody would be stressing out or something. I would like think, oh, how can I implement that? Because it's very important for people to go to work, have a healthy environment, their mental health. Uh, we talk about environmental. We have to take care of the environment, not only business. I mean, there's so many components that makes a business. Not only want to do business, make profit, but so we need to be well-rounded. Something. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So to answer your question, my favorite one was ETK and organizational organizational training and organizational intelligence. Why? Because I feel that I'm a solid person. I'm already, meet so many levels of my life and succeed. But my next thing I want to succeed is organization, which is another level. So organizational intelligence, organizational training, education is very important to grow as a whole, to grow as an individual, professionally, as a team. And that's why that's important. My second one is ETK.
Mm-hmm.
Every day we go through emotions. Current days, we have technology issues, and we have to learn, we have to know how to do it. So what a perfect combination to put those three things together and make it a concept. There it goes, emotional intelligence, uh, um, what is it, critical thinking, um, a lot of things. Recently, we have the internet went out for a week, and everybody was stressing out because we lost a lot of revenues. And we were stressing due to technology. But I just put everything together, like everybody was stressing. Technology was a mess, you know. And I learned how to become how to troubleshoot the wires and got different companies, and you know, so that was a perfect example of ATK. How I put all those instead of just focusing. Oh, I'm stressing out. I'm stressing out. But there's something beyond that. There's technology, and there's something beyond that. There's knowledge. So everything combined, you taking things to a next level, and you have better solutions. Yeah, those are my two favorite ones.
And we can tell. Thank you so much for sharing. It's like, I think for many of us, it's sounding inspiring. Like, okay, maybe we should be joining this program because we want to learn that, like how to become troubleshooters, as you said, or find this confidence that whatever like we are facing, there will be a way to deal with it and to like see opportunity in times of crisis, see crisis as an opportunity to grow, and just like also it's thinking on how with the different topics covered, you are shaping your mindset and making it stronger and and like growing your vision of things and being more having more clarity, gaining more clarity on what you wanted. And as you said, all of these helped you to become a better leader, a better leader, because you'd have a clearer idea of where you want to go, and therefore where you want the people with you go, like how all of you and where you need to be moving forward. So that's connecting with our next question on do you think that graduates from this Master of Science in International Management program here at San Diego Global Knowledge University obtain the necessary skills to compete in the current job market as managers and or as decision makers in general in the US and around the world?
Well, personally, let's say I'm gonna put myself in that position. Let's say many like few years ago when I got my bachelor's, my mind still was developing, And if I would have taken this class, I wouldn't have any how to connect it. I'm so new. But you have a business, you have a position of a leadership already. It's gonna greatly help you out because as a leadership, being able to manage, be a leader, be an executive in certain corporation, you already have a sense of what is it. Sometimes you have to kind of experience it to understand it. One thing about this program is how much you put in, how much you get out. If you do the minimum, you're gonna graduate with a degree. But if you apply yourself and look at the videos and do everything, the readings, then you're gonna come out as a strong leader, because there's ways nowadays you can get a degree, and maybe it's good for just for requirement for your job, but this is very intense, and it's how much you put in is how much you're gonna get out of this program.
Thank you very much. I think those are also like very important and inspiring words. It's not just about the degree, but it's about like who you become in the process.
Yes.
And how like being part of this institution shapes your way of thinking and your way of being in order to be able to then serve better and do more, not just for you, but for others as well. So thank you so much for sharing that. And like, well, you have done it somehow, but here we have like, do you recommend the Master of Science in International Management program at SDGKU to bachelor degree level students and to graduates of other master degrees?
Yes, I do. I do recommend it. Because it helps me out. It grew personally and professionally, and the information is there. It's like a base to start a new executive position, because you already have the knowledge, but also to build on it. Not only graduate, but build on it. One of the things that I like about this program, that every class we have books, textbooks 2 a week, and you don't have enough time to read it during that month. I just put it on a shelf. When you have time, you read it. You go back. You keep growing. Growth is an ongoing journey. Not just graduating, but it's great, you know. But keep in mind, you're gonna have to keep going and like any other degree, you know, you just take it and you don't practice it, you don't grow on it. It's not gonna be very beneficial.
We continue learning throughout our whole
Every
life,
life.
right? Building
Your life. Education never ends.
Absolutely. And so with that, I mean, this would be one of the things that you loved about the program. And is there any other thing that you would share with other students who may be interested in joining the Master of Science in International Management? That what would you say that there's something else that makes this program different from traditional master degree programs?
It's unique. It's unique, and like any other degree, you have multiple classes. You have marketing, you have accounting, but I mean it's a lot of information. You're not gonna be able to use 100%, but it's a good program. And I think this program made me stronger than the other programs I took in the past. Maybe because I was green back then, I didn't took it that serious. This I paid more attention, and it kind of I took more out of it than my prior degrees. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's lots of information to keep learning, to learn during the program and keep learning after the program, and it was usable 100%.
Yeah, and just to let you know, this is an irony for me. I always wanted to have a degree someday, you know, and now being on the side, talking to bachelor degree, it's an honor, you know. It's a big indicator that how much I have grown throughout, you know, life, you know, because like I said, my dream was just to get a degree, and being here with you guys is very it's a big step. It's a indicator. It's a big indicator that I'm in a different level. That I never thought I was gonna be here. You know, and I'm humble, you know, but it just to let you know that it's good to be with talk to great people.
And we would say it's great to have students like you.
Thank you.
And even more, those who are willing to come and share their experiences with our community, because in that way we all keep growing in that way, we all like feel inspired just by listening to you speak of self-pride and then saying, well, this was not for me just to get a degree or to get a diploma, but it's the self-pride of knowing that now I am at a different level because I did put like a lot of myself into this program. And like I was able to like collect all the gems that the program had for me if I was willing to go after them. So yeah.
And a little bit, I'm sorry, a little bit to brag about myself. Behind me, I call it my love me wall. So my degrees, my love me wall. Yes, and
Very nice.
We celebrate your, I'm sorry.
One of the things they ask you, what are your assets? Well, I have money, I have cars, I have a nice home, you know, and the biggest asset is me, myself. What I have put all these, that's the biggest asset I have. So just to let you know that how important this is.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
That's pretty awesome to know. And we celebrate your achievements with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All of them. And I'm sure there are more than we cannot see on your screen, but bravo to all.
It's right here, all the way, there's 6.
Okay. Now
and then behind me, that's a contractor's license. Be a contractor for construction. So, yeah.
So you could say, this is what makes me unique, plus other things that we don't see hanging on your wall, right? Thank you. We appreciate you sharing with us, Guadalupe.
And thank you for being part of your this meeting. It's a delightful to be here and share to brag about myself.
That's what this space is for. What this space is for you to share and inspire and feel inspired.
Give inspiration and be a role model for other people. You know, that's good. That's my gain. That's my. You know, people look up to me. I want to be like you. I want to do that. They come to me. How do I do this? So it's a good feeling to be able to do that. That people look up to you.
It's a reminder that we all stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yes.
So well, thank you so much for your responses, and I would like to ask if there are questions from our participants.
Okay.
So that we can get to answer those as well.
Yes.
So if you would like to unmute yourselves or type your question in the chat box, we will be happy to take a few moments to get them answered.
I have a question, Lupe. Thank you for sharing with us your experiences. You know, all of us have a unique story behind us, and you know, it's nice to hear from you and to learn that the program itself helped you be able to develop those ideas and helped you be able to develop your businesses in the manner that you wanted. You know, you described the process of hitting a wall and not having any solutions for problems.
Yes.
When you're a business owner, and that's when the importance of being able to get more additional training and being able to provide yourself the tools to be able to find a solution. That's when it becomes even more important. One thing that caught my attention was how you said that the program helped you anticipate change a little bit more, right?
Yes.
You know, a lot of the issues you were having with Liberty Tax and your other businesses had to do with not being able to understand what was happening first and what where we're going, what's going to happen next.
Yes, very important.
And that causes, as a business owner, that causes anxiety. It causes, all types of psychological issues that you take home with you every day, and that you have to live with if you don't, find a way to solve those problems. Can you describe to us a little bit of how that helped you in that manner? Can you elaborate for us a little bit of how as a business owner you became more comfortable, and then it gave you more time to think, more time to make better decisions, etc.
Yeah, I think one of the things, not having the tools, you get tunnel vision. You just see that problem, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna have to close this business. I have to get rid of Liberty Tax. And I'm gonna, but not having many options. When you look at technology, you look at the world, what's going on. You're not the only one with that problem, similar problem. You approach experts. So the options are limitless. You open your mind, and that's gonna get you away from the tunnel vision mode to multiple channels, multiple resources.
Yeah, it's the building of the global perspective, right?
Yes.
You go from a position where you think that you are the only one that is suffering these problems or these ailments, to a position where you are now part of a larger community that is very much like you, and you're able to get information from that community.
Yes.
And be able to see what they're doing to be able to fix their current situation. And that takes, a few things. And just my last comment, one thing that you mentioned at the very end is being humble about what you know and what you're doing, and being able to understand that when you're a citizen of a global community, you're just one piece of a larger organization, a country, a system, right? And that in many ways is humbling, right? You have your unique things to offer, but at the same time, you are part of something that's greater, and knowing how all those dynamics work, at least for me, has helped me anticipate change a little bit better, and anticipate and understand where we are going as individuals, organizations, businesses, and societies. And overall, it brings not only professional benefits, but it brings, for me, personal benefits, right? Like you said, less anxiety, a better ability to be able to cope with change and deal with it in a healthier way, and be able to make good business decisions moving forward. So those are some of the things that I picked up from your comments, Lupe. Thank you for sharing.
It's important to have an understanding of what's going on, and by using those tools, you have understanding, solutions, organizational knowledge, organizational learning, benchmarking. So there's multiple tools that you can use in the situation.
Thank you, Lupe.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions or comments? Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Cardenas.
So thank you. I want to thank once again Guadalupe for participating in this seminar, being the leader here, and sharing your wisdom, the wisdom you now have. And I want to say, as a co-professor of yours, along with Eric, Dr. Rios, that you were an exceptional student, and we truly again appreciate the contribution today of sharing your experience with the program. I know that most of our participants very kindly, I know that your time is of the essence, but I think this hour is worthwhile for you. But I know most of you are bachelor degree students. Is that correct? I think I don't see many of our other master degree students that we have. But The bachelor's degree program, as you know, is typically, and with us, a 4-year program. Many of you are with the doble titulación. You're taking maybe 16 courses with us and getting this degree. Many of you, when you finish, you will continue with either the master's program in international management or the other one that we have, communication and technology. And I'm saying that because all of the past graduates we've had of doble titulación have considered the continuity of the program into the master's level. And we do have a special fee that you can also, tuition fee that you can also handle, that is, of course, much lower than the regular fee, so that you can have this master level education. Now, at the bachelor's level, the global management program that you're taking, I know you take, and at least you're introduced to many of the concepts and methodologies that you normally learn and master at the master's level, like Guadalupe was saying. And I'm glad that he said, in answering Dr. Rico's question, what were the two areas of the curriculum that he liked most. I was very glad to hear that he liked the ETK model, which is a model that I published many, many years ago. I won't tell you how many, but I am the creator of that model. And you should know that it is not just an organizational performance model that is theoretical, and because there are many, in the literature in business and management, there are hundreds of performance organizational models proposed, but very few have been actually validated scientifically as being tools that work, that are used and are effective in the field, and do help organizations improve. And we had, at least in the course of the last 10 years, at least 8 PhD dissertations that validated this model. As you know, Guadalupe, but I want to share this with the group so you know the importance of that model. And if you have not been exposed to it so far in your courses, I know that most of you will. And if not, I invite you to at least look up the ETK model. But one of the interesting things is that Dr. Cárdenas Jr. did his PhD dissertation using the ETK model in a specific sector, which was the sports industry. Can you tell us a little bit about your research findings, Miguel, and how you validated the model?
Well, in a nutshell, without taking too much time, it's an organizational performance model that allows you to be able to conceptualize any group of people in 3 distinct constructs. One having to do with emotional and human aspects, the other with technology, and the other with knowledge aspects that have to do with the subject matter at hand. So if you're able to view an organization in this manner, if you're able to test variables based on these dimensions, you might be able to draw statistical evidence that will allow you to predict change a little bit easier. And my doctoral dissertation applied the ETK model in the global sports industry, but there have been other doctoral students in the past to apply ETK in education, for example, educational institutions, or in public sector type of applications, like in the energy fields. For example, electrical companies and other similar type of organizations. So again, these are higher level models that are used by managers, and it can be used by managers to be able to make better decisions, right? Which is ultimately what we want to do. And for most of you that are right now at the bachelor's level, this is one of the wonderful things to aspire to if you decide to continue your education and continue with a master's degree anywhere. We would prefer at our university, but really anywhere, it will allow you to develop, your thinking, current thinking, and go at higher levels and be able to make better decisions. Becoming a better manager not only helps you on the professional side of things, but I mentioned it before, it helps on the professionals, on the personal side of things as well. You're able to make better personal decisions for you and yourself, and even potentially loved ones and friends if they let you. So anyways, there's wide-ranging implications for being able to use the ETK model. I've found it to be a very practical model professionally. And as Lupe mentioned, using several, or using an anecdote of something that happened to him recently, that it's applicable also, at that level. So again, I encourage you, like Dr. Cardenas said, to learn more about the ETK model and maybe even take a chance in continuing your education and delving deep into it with the Masters of Science in International Management.
Thank you, Miguel. And I also want to mention that we have Beatriz Escobedo, our Chief Student Services Officer, who I think all of you know very well, with us. Both her as well as Miguel Jr., Dr. Cardenas Jr., they're both graduates of the same master's program in international management many years ago. I wouldn't say how many. We, San Diego Global Knowledge University, you should be proud of knowing that we were the first online university in the state of California and one of the first in the country, probably in the world, many years ago. And our learning management system, not the one you use, now you use Canvas, but the previous one that we recently left behind because we actually migrated into Canvas only 2-3 years ago. The previous LMS was the first LMS probably in the world that used video, that could stream video. And I designed that with a group of programmers along with the team, with Miguel and the team that we had at San Diego Global at that time. So we're very proud of our achievements in the past. And the MSIM program was actually, along with the MSCT program, the one in the other master's program in communication and technology, were the first two academic programs we actually offered at San Diego Global Knowledge University, even before the global management bachelor's degree. So, we're very fond of this program that lasts a year and a half, only a year and a half. There are 15 modules, basically, or 15 courses. I'm just very hopeful that all of you can consider taking it as soon as you finish your global management program. I also want to take the opportunity to, of course, congratulate Dr. Rios for his work with all of you in the bachelor's program, and also Dr. Cecilia Rico, who I think you're teaching a few of our participants today, right?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And just listening to all of you share your insights about the program and be in this talk today reminds me of how when or if we think of ourselves as boats in the ocean, it's like the better prepared we are, the more knowledge that we gain, the more that we can bring into this ocean, and by putting or pouring more into it, we all get to raise our and we all get to become better. And just stressing, as we become better, whatever we learn in school, it doesn't stay at school, or it doesn't just go to become part of our professional lives, but it's like the idea is to make it become part of who we are, so that in that way we can be like having ripple effect, or our actions, our decisions, our like being can have ripple effects around us, of like making not just ourselves better or our families better, but our communities and the world, which is something that we are also very fond of here at this institution, to not just have better professionals, but better people, because that's what the world needs. So thank you very, very much for sharing those insights. And I think, is there a question in the chat box?
It can be in Spanish, not a problem.
It was a comment from a student of the Carlos, where he is telling us that we were good professors, and he's so grateful about it.
Okay, thank you very much. So, well,
I want to say something to my students. For example, these kind of meetings are important because something that maybe they have seen, and Guadalupe, that was my student in master too, that all the materials are in a global context. Many universities in business, such as in Mexico, UNAM, Polytechnico, or maybe Harvard, in USA, they don't have a program what is based on global business, global management, and global economics. Many programs are approaching international economics, international management, but they don't see all the information and all the context and all the approaching from a global point of view. And maybe all my students can appreciate that many materials they are in UABC. Obviously, they don't see that kind of materials because UABC is not global. So it's important to consider that, because when you are getting the competencies in the materials of the course, you will see that many things that you see here in the program is a very, very rich information, because you are not going to see that information. You are not going to see all those perspectives in any other university. So it's important to consider that, because that information is the other part that in your bachelor, in other master's programs, you won't be able to. That's all that I can say. And I am very, very proud of the students that are here in the meeting, because they are having the experience. Guadalupe is trying to transmit the experience too from the master's program. And that we're very grateful that many of the students of the bachelor try to attend the master's, and they can do it.
Mhm.
According to the economical possibilities too.
Yes.
Yeah.
oh, thank you very much for sharing, Dr. Eric. And yeah, it's just the reminder of here we are to experience things, not just to learn things intellectually, right? If we don't do something with what we learn, then it's just interesting facts, but there's no transformation. And the idea here is to actually go through that process of taking information, making connections, as Guadalupe said before, find that there are many more connections than the ones we could have seen prior to being part of the program, and then doing with that good for the world by making better decisions and moving along with those other people, like the people we are working with, or our own families, friends, acquaintances. So yeah, thank you very much to every one of you for having been here tonight.
Can we give a hand to Lupe, please?
So much. Thank you.
They say success makes shoes and or footprints, right? And it's really important that we really value having graduates from our programs coming back to these alumni spotlights to share with us like different paths that have been taken, so that we can like widen our perspective of what's possible. Because that's also like something key, or the key reminder to each one of us. If someone in here has done something, because that person is a human being and we are also human beings, if we follow the same steps, we can also have access to those results.
Mhm.
So in that way, we really appreciate that you were here with us tonight. Guadalupe. And it's a big applause for everyone who participated. We take all the nuggets with us.
It's a lot to me being here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, and I have a very good night, and see you in the next Alumni Spotlight.
I'm here to stay. Yes.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Rios.
Thank you.
Cecilia.
San Diego Global Knowledge University, Education Beyond Boundaries.